100 years ago, Nikola Tesla discovered a healing technology that threatened the entire pharmaceutical industry. The day he died, the government seized everything. For 100 years, this technology was hidden. Until now, plasma is back. Tesla Club, tzla.club.
David, even today, many people who consider themselves awake still struggle with the idea that there are hidden forces behind the scenes controlling this reality. They have a lot of problems with this. I call them extraterrestrials. You are speaking for 30 years about these reptilian forces. And we have in Pentagon now, they are disclosing something, and they are really talking from high level about possible contact with these beings, possible reverse engineering programs with these beings, and also some things that these beings are doing to the humanity through the military cabal from secret space programs and secret government programs. And these guys, who I have researched, are documented guys who also are talking about reptilians. Also, for them is that nothing strange, because they have been 40, 50 years in these programs, just like a guy like William Tompkins, who is in his, he was, I think, 85 years old or something. And
I think
before his death,
he was around 90 even.
Yes, and he's talking about it. If it was normal people, reptilians, of course they exist, So now you see the Pentagon also disclosing more and more. So all these things that you have talked about for 30 years must be validated on some level, even by the people who don't believe this thing. I think.
It's kind of ironic because I said at the turn of this year that this would be the year of the alien in terms of government disclosure. And the reason I said that, or one of the reasons, a big reason, is because I saw that the Steven Spielberg movie coming out. I think it's released in America on June the 12th.
Disclosure Day. Disclosure
Day, right. Now, when I have looked at the movie making career of a number of movie makers, I'm seeing a pattern, and I see a pattern with Spielberg, obviously with E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I could see, okay, I remember traveling around America in the 1990s, and I talked to a lot of whistleblowers, military whistleblowers, etc. And any suggestion that there were, I don't call them extraterrestrial, I call them interdimensional, because I say their origin is in another dimension of reality. Anyway, and it was dismissed. I mean, back in the 40s, you had the weather balloon story and all that stuff, and it was all dismissed. And oh, it's just a laugh. Oh, you're talking about little green men and all this stuff.
Yeah, Roswell incident and that sort of things.
And then,
you mean that?
In the last few years, I've started to see this drip, drip, drip of disclosure. Military people coming out and radar pictures of craft doing things that you wouldn't think were possible in the human reality, although the technology we see in the public arena is nothing like they have in the underground bases and the secret projects. So I was seeing this emerging, we're going to take it more seriously. And I thought, okay, well, there's one thing you know about authority. It lies to you. One thing you know about governments, it lies to you. One thing you know about the military, it lies to you. Mm-hmm. So if they are releasing information, I'm not talking about whistleblower people from the military, etc. But I'm talking about the inner circle. They're not going to release information officially unless it suits them. So whatever they release this year, and we're seeing more and more evidence of politicians and other people coming out and saying that we're going to do it soon. Trump said soon, and all the Pentagon said soon. If they're going to release information to us, then it will be for their benefit, not ours. And so I'm just waiting to see what spin they put on it before I conclude what is going on in that sense. But I don't know whether you saw this today. I posted something on this. There's a guy in America. He's a pastor. And he's gone public saying that a group of pastors were brought together, basically in a governmental situation, and told to prepare your people, your congregations, for the revelations that were coming about craft that were not human in origin, and reptilian beings, reptilian creatures. Right now, the irony, as I mentioned, is that I've been exposing this since the mid 1990s, and got so much abuse and ridicule for it. Oh, you're mad, you are. He says lizards run the world and all this stuff. But I should be, you would think, going, yeah, see, told you. Well, what I'm saying is, let's be streetwise here.
But we know that you told it. We know it.
Yeah,
I know it.
But whatever they tell us will be for their benefit, not ours. And
of course,
the picture is vastly, vastly greater than they'll be revealing. And this is the point. I think you indicated it a few minutes ago. That, I've talked over the decades to many, many military whistleblowers, particularly in America. And they've described how they've interacted with reptilian beings and other beings like the so-called greys, etc.
Insectoids.
Yeah, there seems to be many different types.
Races, yes.
In underground bases, what they call DUMBs, deep underground military bases. And so if they kind of spin this as, it's a mystery, we've got this evidence, but we don't know what's going on, well, they bloody well do. That's the point. They've not only been aware of this manipulation, they've worked with these non-human entities in this manipulation, because this is the way I see it. I'm trying to get rid of her hair. I think he's gone now.
No problem, David.
So this is the way I see it. There's another dimension interacts with this one. People look up to the sky when they're talking about heaven. It's not a chest of drawers. It's different frequencies sharing the same space. And so this other dimension shares the same space as this one. But of course, like radio and television stations, they share the same space without interfering with each other unless they are very close on the dial. So you have this other dimensional level, which is where this manipulation is originating from. And it comes from a particular state of consciousness, which goes under names across the religions and the cultural belief systems as Satan or the devil, or in Islam it's Shaitan or Iblis. In the Gnostic belief system, it's the demiurge or the Yoda Baoth.
Religious people believe that. They believe that, but this they don't believe.
Yeah, because there's a belief system which has very strict limits. And if you go beyond them, then you're no longer whatever your belief system is. And what goes with explanations that have some parallels with some religious belief systems, what goes with that is a vast expansion of perception of reality and self. And so you have this instant dismissal, even of those elements of what you're saying that have religious parallels, because if you accept that this is true, that someone's saying, then what about all this other stuff that actually demolishes the religion? So they seek to just throw the everything out, even that bit that has parallels with what they believe. So you have, but the thing is that I've talked to shamans and carriers of ancient knowledge in different parts of the world, and what I'm looking for when I'm researching is patterns of agreement between belief systems that would otherwise not agree on lots of things. It's the areas, the patterns of agreement that I'm looking for. And there is a pattern of agreement between religions and native peoples and cultural beliefs, that there is a hidden force that's manipulating human society. And this consciousness that the Gnostics call Yaldabaoth expresses itself in entities in this, what's called this astral dimension, which the Gnostic belief system calls archons, which is Greek for rulers, and Christians call demons. Islamic belief systems call jinn, and like I say, the Gnostics call archons. And this other dimensional force is the origin of human control. And then within the frequency band, because that's what it is, of human reality, this material density, you have a global network of secret societies, which I call the global cult in totality, that is manipulating human society on behalf of that other dimensional force. This is why in the early 1990s, when I was uncovering this cult and how it worked, I realized that these major players and not so major players were involved in Satanism and, pedophilia as well. The two are connected, but Satanism, and they were doing satanic rituals, including human sacrifice rituals. And then you think, hold on, the ancients were doing human sacrifice rituals to
as Baal.
to the god.
You are this god. Yes, it's very strange. And this Anunnaki thing also have maybe also some connection why they doing experiments with our DNA from 1,000 years ago, and they still doing these things. If you look at the abduction programs and hybridization programs, where even Pentagon is talking about now, that's very bizarre.
Yeah, but see, this is the point. You have a level of awareness. You call it intelligence. We can argue about what intelligence means, but its knowledge base in this other dimension is far greater than humans. And therefore, it's been able to do things within human reality that humans perceive as impossible. Still do. They can't do that. That's impossible. No, it's impossible with the way you see the world, but it's not actually impossible. Because they're doing it for a start. And you also look around the ancient world, and you see pantheons of gods, like you had the Greek pantheon and the Egyptian pantheon and the Roman pantheon, but you have pantheons of gods everywhere. In Hinduism, for instance, they still have vast numbers of gods, which they worship. But those gods are these entities operating in the astral dimension, and their rituals and satanic rituals are interacting with these gods. That's we can get into what they're doing and how they give these gifts to the gods of a human sacrifice, and what's actually the reason for that. But you have this knowledge base of which is very much more advanced than human, because the idea is that you keep from humans the knowledge that you have, because if I know what you know, then it's very difficult to manipulate you.
Of course. David, talking about another dimensions, I don't know if you are familiar with Dr. Rick Strassman from the documentary Spirit Molecule. Do you know him?
Yeah, I've come across that.
It was on YouTube. I have a rare interview. I can put it in the description. It's a very rare interview with him, I think 20 years ago. And what was happened, David, is very interesting what you're now talking about. In the 90s, he conducted a government-funded research where volunteers were given high doses of DMT in a clinical way, in a hospital, next to a cancer room. So they didn't do it on the right way, and they were given high doses with injection. So they didn't just like you and me on a ritualistic way with shamans. They did it in a clinical way. So what happened, David? These people don't know nothing about other dimensions, didn't know nothing about it. They want to see how it is, to see these worlds, these hidden realities. And what he's telling, and I'm put it in the description, the link, he's telling that 30% of these volunteers came back, and they say they landed in another experiment in another dimension with insectoid beings and reptilian-like beings. They call them crocodile people.
Yeah.
So these people didn't know anything about reptilians or something. And what they also they were ashamed to tell what was happening because some of them were raped by these beings, and they did very, very bad sexual things to them, and they were experimenting them to find something special about us. So this woman asked Dr. Strassman, what's so special about us that they want to research? And his conclusion was, and he don't want to talk a lot about this stuff. He's a little bit scared. He's not just like you telling everything. He don't want to talk a lot about it. But what he told is, his conclusion was that we have something they don't have. They can be intelligence, but we have some things, and it is or emotions that they don't have and can't understand, and they want that. What do you think about this?
Well, we have consciousness beyond this reality, which is actually a simulated virtual reality, which has been created to control us by these entities and the consciousness that drives them. So you're dealing with entities that are very advanced, not least technologically. And the idea is to suppress human knowledge so that we don't know what they know. So we have two worlds. We have the world of this global cult within human society. And what that does is pass over through the generations very advanced knowledge about the nature of reality and the nature of the agenda for humanity, but not throughout the cult levels of secret society and degrees, but through the inner circle. The cult itself is fiercely compartmentalized, so most people don't know the big picture. Now, what you then find if you do the research is that these cultists, not least like the Rockefellers in America and the Rothschilds and others, created also the sources of communication from which the population gets its information. So it created, like the Rockefellers did in America, the education system, which is a programming system. It created and owns the global media. So it owns Silicon Valley and the platforms of social media. And the role of all that is to keep the population, the target population, in ignorance of what they know. And so you have this situation where there's an ongoing dramatic difference between what the inner circle cultists know and what the population they're targeting know.
Mhm.
And so what people like me and you are doing is researching what they know and don't want us to know, and saying to the people, this is what they're doing and this is how they're doing it. And what you find, it goes back to what we were talking about at the start. What you find is because of the limit of the sense of the possible of the population due to this manipulation, they just laugh at you and say that's ridiculous, that's impossible. I remember a great quote from a German philosopher called Arthur Schopenhauer, which says basically every man judges basically the limit of possibility by the limits of his own mind. And that's what they want us to want us to believe, that the limits of what we perceive as possible is the limit of possibility. It ain't. And
Mhm.
so what
True.
you have therefore is a dramatic difference between the knowledge that the inner circle of the cult knows and the knowledge that the population knows. And what we call awakening is awakening to and having the self-respect to realize that whatever we know or think we know, there's always more to know. That continually keeps your mind open to all possibility. Don't mean you believe everything, but you'll give it a chance. So that's why, because we have been through this process, I've watched it unfold for 36 years, slowly, very slowly at first, and then faster and faster, is that people are expanding, if you like, their sense of possibility. And as a result of that expansion, they are able to encompass concepts and explanations that they would have laughed at and dismissed with a wave of the hand before. And that's where belief systems, like religious belief systems, come in. Because
Mhm.
as you expand your sense of the possible, you are going into areas of the hidden. You're going into those areas that are systematically hidden from us. And if you go there, then your religious, political, cultural belief system starts to dismantle. The great thing is that more and more people are willing to go there now, and that's a good thing.
If you want to read more and watch more of my content, then go to the description under the video where you can buy my books. The latest one is The Roadmap, where you can get tickets for public events, and how you can subscribe to a fantastic video channel called Iconic, iconic.com.